Jackie from What's Crackyln, and I'm here with my friend Anna. Anna is a traveler. She is a blogger, and she's just a positive person, and she's an environmentalist. So I just thought it'd be cool to interview her. Because you just spent the last, what was it, like a year or 2 years traveling?
Yeah, it was about a year, like close to 12 months, a little short.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was with Up With People, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us exactly what Up With People is?
Yeah. So basically, Up With People, it's like a international nonprofit organization that basically takes like 100 people from around 12 to 15 different countries, depending on the semester, from ages 17 through 29. And basically, what they do is take all those people, combine them together, and we travel around the world for 6 months or a year at a time. You can choose one or the other.
Oh, wow.
So the mission statement, like of Up With People, to kind of give like a overview, is they use like music and action to inspire young people to be positive agents of change. So we spend like a week at a time in a new city, and we stay with host families. And about 4 to 5 days a week, we do community volunteer work. So working with local organizations, kind of in whatever way they need it. And then at the end of the week, we put on a show, kind of like a thank you to the community. It's a musical performance with like all 100 of us on stage. Yeah, so that's
awesome. That's so cool. So what countries did you get to go to?
So I think I was thinking about this earlier. I think throughout the whole year, I traveled to 10 different countries.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So, which is incredible. It's so weird looking back on it. I'm like, what? I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Mexico, obviously the United States, Canada, Italy, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, Norway, the
Wow.
Netherlands, and Sweden. Yeah.
Wow, that's so many. Oh my God. Going back, you said you did like a show. Did you do like the same show for everybody, or?
Yeah, so it was the same show every week. We have like what we call a staging period in Up With People. So it's 5 weeks at the beginning of the semester, all in Denver, Colorado. So we stay there for 5 weeks and we prepare the show. So we learn all the numbers, all the songs. And then each week from there, we put on the same show. Sometimes people switch like roles and that sort of thing, but it's the same show each week.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
I know how much you love theater and everything, so
It's like a perfect combination of
I know
all.
it's like you're just like in your element when you do. So what was like your favorite country and experience out of all that?
That's so hard.
I know so many of
I
them.
know it's so hard. Yeah, because they're all like different in their own way. But I feel like my favorite was probably Belgium. So I got to stay there in May for 3 weeks, my first semester that I traveled. And then when I traveled again in the fall semester, I stayed there for another 3 weeks. So it was like late November the second time around. So I got to see it like around Christmas time. So there was all like the Christmas markets and I don't know. It's just such a cute country. It's so small. So a lot of people are super surprised when I say it was like my favorite. But just like the history and the architecture and everything's so like quaint and adorable. I don't know. It was, yeah, it's just
That's
my
so fun. So did you get to do any environmental things when you were traveling to different countries?
Yeah. So I like don't even know where to start. So we talk like a ton and Up With People about like global issues in general. So like anything from mental illness or women's rights or climate change. So like we cover like a large span of topics that we do in like our own workshops with all 100 of us. Like pretty much every day we would talk about them. So one of them being climate change, obviously. So my first semester, we did like a lot of trash cleanups and that sort of thing, and it was something that like I obviously cared about, but it didn't have like an immense impact on me. It was just kind of something that I did because we all did it. But then my second semester was kind of when I got home from my first semester and I started like seeing all the things that we had talked about. And I was like, wow, people like really don't pay attention to these types of things. And it was just crazy to me, like how much waste like I produced as just one person, but then my whole family. So I started kind of like taking an interest in it over the summer. And then for my second semester, I just tried to like, me and my friend, who's from Belgium, decided to like commit to going as zero waste as possible our second semester. So that was like buying Tupperware for like all our meals that we would have in Up with People. We would use Tupperware, so like for lunch and dinner.
Mhm.
And then like reusable silverware, like shampoo bars instead of bottles, switching to just more
Yeah.
eco-friendly alternatives. Because I think for me, like at the time, talking about it was overwhelming. Like talking about climate change and being like, oh, like I have to go vegan, or I have to stop flying, or I have to like all
Right.
these massive changes. And I was like, I can't do that. Like I'm not, no way. But
Mhm.
then as like I started to get more into it and look more into it, I just realized like if everyone just does it imperfectly, like those changes actually do matter. So making the small steps first is still huge, because it sounds so cheesy, but you do like have that power as just
True.
one
Yeah.
person. Yeah. So yeah, and then since getting home, those things have kind of like still, obviously I'm still working on in my life, and I'm nowhere near perfect, but I became like vegetarian when I came home, because that was something that doing like on the road just was overwhelming, because we stayed with different families and that sort of thing. But
Mhm.
now that I have access to like making my own meals, um I'm not eating meat for like environmental reasons, and then yeah, just those sorts of things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, like what you said, that small things, even if you're doing them imperfectly, they still add
Mhm.
up. Like it's so true because it's like people complain about, not being able to use plastic bags. Like what is that really going to do?
Yeah.
Like think about how many plastic bags what one person uses when they go to Shaw's or something.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
bags where like two huge reusable ones will do fine. And it's like
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
that little change like helps a lot.
Yeah.
I started using shampoo bars too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. And so
I love them too. And the thing is too is like they last so much longer. Like I
yeah,
bought that shampoo bar in the summer and used it all the way through my semester, and I still have it. So it's like you don't have to be buying
yeah.
more so you're paying less. Like it's stuff that levels out.
The environmental things that you do in your everyday life. You're vegetarian. You use shampoo bars.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, so I started like I meant to mention this earlier, but like from doing all of these environmental things, I started like a project with my friend. It's called Project Repair. And basically we use like social media as a platform to like raise awareness about making accessible lifestyle changes. Because again, like I feel like I see so many things on Instagram that are like, oh, I'm a flight free vegan, and like this, I go completely zero waste, and I've never
Yeah,
used a plastic. And it's just so like, no one, most people, like, I mean, credits to the people that are, but like most people are not going to be like that. So we kind of created the page to be like honestly, just switching from using, like you said, like a reusable bag instead of a plastic bag. Like that
yeah,
counts, because that's
yeah,
less that are being, hopefully, if more people switch over, it's less that are going to be produced
yeah,
in the long run. So yeah, that sort of thing. Like I still try to make it a big part of my life for me, but also like share it with other people too.
yeah. You want to tell us about your blog a little bit?
Yeah. So I started the blog like a few years back. I went to Malawi a few summers ago in Africa. And when I got back from that, I kind of made the blog to blog about my trip, and like what I did there. I went with a NGO called Concern Worldwide. So they work with really impoverished communities in a bunch of countries around the world. So I got to stay there for a week. And it was my first time out of the country. So it was a super incredible experience. And I wanted to kind of have something to like, I had my journal obviously, but it was kind of just like messy notes that I had written. So I wanted a platform to kind of put that on. So that's why I started The Big Picture, which is what my blog is called. And then I started kind of raising awareness for Concern Worldwide, the program, because I became like a part of the Concern Leadership Network. So it's just kind of helping them raise awareness for their organization. So I used the blog to talk about that sort of thing. And then when I decided to do Up with People, I was like, oh, well, that's perfect. Like I can still talk about my travels. And yeah, so it's mostly like a travel blog. And I just recently have been like blogging every single week of when I started Up with People. And I'm hopefully going to make it to the end at some point.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Anna,
Thank you.
for coming on, and everybody check out her stuff. And how old are you again?
I'm 19.
You know, You're 19 and you've already done all that stuff. You make me want to have like my own adventure or something.